You know, now that we're actually talking about it out loud, why do mandrakes go in about one craft and one recipe? Seriously, all we get is a bowl of OP soup and something to toot on occasion. Well, unless we pick these things come dusk or night, then we'll get a headache along the way. But then there's Don't Starve Hamlet here that may not add any Mandrake craft, sure. However, it does take things a step further than Don't Starve Together, at least, with its Mandrake villages, Mandrake hills, and oh yeah, literal Mandrake mobs. Even still though, the Mandrake itself remains untouched, and chances are we will have to buy more from the store, and I suppose that bleeds into my points. They are relatively rare, extremely useful, yet perhaps outrageously underutilized. But what if they weren't? What if someone like Bridge here took it upon themselves to flesh out mandrakes, their crafts, and more? Well, for one thing, we would have to thank them tremendously for their initiative and hard work. For another, we would have to absolutely sit down and admire said work, as it sounds like such a thing would be quite fun to experience. And sure enough, it is, folks. Bridge went ahead and added a Mandrake Hill set piece near the Moonstone itself that's going to be something we'll want to revisit for sure. The thing is, though, that's not going to be the easiest thing to do. For you see, Elder Mandrakes have also jumped dimensions that don't start together here, and they don't really like visitors to their homes. At least ones who get too close, that is. Just think of them as merms in this regard, and I'll think you'll be okay. Until you're not. Again, we need some peace to access some really neat crafts, so killing them is definitely an option, sure. But with their 900 health, 40 damage a munch, insane health regeneration, and their ability to make us groggy with each bite, I'm thinking I'm gonna take option number 2. Food. Oh, but if you do kill them, anticipate leafy meat over living logs and a potential mandrake drop, which is something Hamlet doesn't even have. But yes, feeding these things veggies will calm them for a time, which could help us in 2 ways actually. Making the gathering of new mandrakes that spawn during full moons safer, and of course give us the time needed to craft at the Mandrake Hill itself, as it is where all these mandrake items actually live, including the pan flutes. Let's discuss. And speaking of the pan flute, we should probably start with how it will not only not break once its uses reaches 0 with this mod enabled, it will also be allowed to be repaired via cut reeds. Now each reed will restore 10% of the flute's durability, and this mechanic is actually going to be quite common for all the mandrake items to follow. The only difference is going to be that instead of cut reeds, most of the new items are going to require either petals or loon tree blossoms instead. The former will quote-unquote refuel such items by 5% each use, while the latter will double that to 10% durability gained per petal. Cool stuff. Oh, but we're just getting started, everybody, as it's new items time. The Mandrake Capulet here is made via living logs, grass, and of course a mandrake, and will not only have us not scaring away small mobs like birds and or rabbits, making for easy trappings and or killings, the thing allows for plants to grow even during the night when growth is typically paused, and this includes saplings, grass, and berry bushes too, mind you. And not only that, if said plants are nearby, the Capulet will provide a small light radius to the wearer to boot. I like it. I like it a lot. And that very sentiment ain't going anywhere, as the Mandrake staff is next, and it too has some showing off to do. Fork over some more living logs, another Mandrake, and now a log for a magical ranged staff that will deal 17 damage a blast, sure, but each blast will actually drain your sanity, so be mindful there. Now, it might not drain its durability while it's being used like this, but it's still gonna cost ya. And what will drain his durability is both its ability to heal the caster and those around him for 20 health at the cost of even more sanity, and its stressor spell on plants, the latter of which lowers the stress of all plants by 1 each use. Yes, even if said stressors still exist, this thing will drop it. That does mean, though, that if one doesn't actually relieve these stressors per growth cycle of these plants, the staff will have to be used at every single stage, so definitely beware of that. It is obviously very helpful, but you should not totally rely on it. But next comes the Mandrake tool here, which is both very simple, yet super unique, and you should definitely totally rely on it. Hand over the usuals with the side of marble for an incredibly versatile tool that can literally switch to a Mandrake axe, Mandrake pickaxe, and a Mandrake shovel on the fly, as you can see. Yup, pretty darn straightforward there. Not bad, although it should probably cost us something to transform the thing just to make things a little bit more balanced overall. The Mandrake crown follows suit though, and at the cost of some extra twigs added to the typical mix, we can wear an item that will provide a sanity regeneration effect that will actually grow with more plants nearby, make interacting with said plants far, far faster than usual, and will even come with an all or nothing, life-saving mechanic that will prevent the wearer from taking a would-be fatal blow. Now, the durability must be over 25% for such a thing to actually happen, so make note. However, I would still even bump that up to maybe 75%. But hey, that's just me. It's cool stuff nonetheless. Next is the Mandrake bag, and let me just say that it's going to be one of the only bags that you will ever need, if you can afford it, that is. In short, they are small, portable containers meant for food alone that not only slow the spoilage of food by 10 times their normal rate, but can be carried in and opened from our inventories or the ground itself. Oh yes, they are quite good. They make sounds too, which is an added bonus. However, they aren't the only bags here today, mind you, as the Mandrake backpack would also like a word. Costing living logs, kelp fronds, and mandrakes, it is a backpack with 14 slots that acts as an armor too with 80% protection. Yup, simple enough and refuelable. Do not forget that. But lastly, and probably kinda sorta leastly, the Mandrake cane. Now it's last because it's obviously just a lazy deserter that can hammer things, which is kinda just boring. Maybe it should act like a blooming wormwood and talk to plants automatically when we run by them with one held. I don't know, something like that perhaps. But I'm thinking anything is better than this. Oh, but before we go, the mod also makes the already super duper good stat regens of the Mandrake soup recipe even crazier by upping literally everything to 300 or more. So all I'll say is this. Slurps up. And there you have it, everyone. Bridge's pretty darn recent Mandrake items mod for Don't Starve Together here. Now I cannot believe how I have missed this thing over the last few months, but I'm quite happy to have finally shown it off, as I thoroughly enjoyed the idea of fleshed out Mandrakes, and after experiencing the ideas that Bridge put forth, I'm all in, honestly. The interactions with these items and plants were great and reasonable, the refueling mechanics were not too broken, and overall everything still costs a pretty penny, so it's not like we're gonna be breaking the game in an instant if we find this thing, if you know what I mean. So well done, Bridge. Well done. To you and anyone who helped you. But folks, let me know your thoughts down below about the potential of an expanded Mandrake recipe list. But thanks for watching. Well wishes to all. You might want to plug your ears, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.